Hello, everyone. Presumably everything sounds okay. Let me know if anything is like doubling or coming across too loud or strange or anything. I know I've got the game cap on and I'm hearing it through the speakers, so if I need to, I can pop on headphones if there's audio doubling from the game. Just wasn't sure if I needed it. Because if I cut the game cap, then I can't hear it when I'm not wearing headphones. Oh my god, it feels like it's been forever since I've been streaming, because it has been a really long time for me. It's been like almost, what, a week and a half, a week and a half, I think, because the last time I streamed was with Vorn on Baldur's Gate. Which went. It went. Last week I just didn't have a voice. You haven't heard the video yet. Tomorrow a video's going up that we filmed while I didn't have a voice, and it is bad. Like, it is so bad. So aggressively terrible to listen to. But alas, the video must go out, so it doesn't really matter that it sounds awful. You guys have to hear it. Oh, I forget that they've grouped everything up into those main record bits. Let's see. There we go. That's right, I think I remember there were 18 parts and we're on 13, so it's either that or there's 22 and we're on 13. You know what? I forgot to turn my notifications off. Hang on a sec, guys. Can you? Does that work? What? Turn my notifications off. What did you forgore, tacos? Oh, we're starting with a no battle node. Why? Why must we start with a no battle? I just want battles. I want nothing but battles. It's either 18 or 22. I looked it up before. Actually, I might still have it up in my tabs. Let me... Alright, it's... Let's see. It's got... 22. Yeah, 22. That's, yeah. Yeah. In Yagarasha, dogs pet you and mammoth squishes you. Alright, here we go. Ooh. The man in gray. Yeah, I've forgotten how to say gray in Russian. I know like all the other colors, but I feel like gray is just one that I've never really learned. Because I know black and I know white and I know like all the other colors. But I've never had to use the word gray before. I wonder. I actually don't really remember what happened the last time we were playing Anna super well, and that's just because it's been so long. And it was such a long stream. Oh, I do remember. Okay, I got it. All right. Get the provisions to the storehouse, quickly. After that, I want you to sort them into perishables and non-perishables, and give the perishables to the children and the elderly. Hi, chat! Non-combatants, boil some water and prepare to treat the wounded. I want the wounded in a single file line. I'm afraid I get a bit queasy at the sight of blood, so I think I'll go repair my golems instead. I will also have some of my golems keep watch. I believe it would be best for all the Yaga to get some rest now. Thank you, Avikabran. I appreciate that. Think nothing of it. I must say, though, it is rather odd hearing you thank me. What do you mean? It's nothing. Let's just say I sensed fate at work. Fate. I do not understand that, man. Fucking fate. I'm hungry. Don't worry, I'll have some meat for you in no time. That'll make you feel better. Я голодный. See. Master. What are you muttering about? He ran away and we didn't go after him. That's all there is to it. Besides, any mage worth their salt should be used to betrayal. Don't be sad about that mutt running away. Be sad you've lost your guide in this land and how hard it'll be to replace him. Yeah, but I don't think it's really that Seki is sad necessarily. I think she's just trying to understand why he left more than anything. I imagine he had his reasons, and of course we owe him a debt for involving him in all this to begin with. We will just have to hope that he is alright. There's nothing else we can do for him right now. Oh. Yeah, Zero. My few, like, cat water fountains are all plugins because I didn't want to deal with... I sometimes watch this lady who has a cat who's, like, a battery-operated one, and it's awful. Like, I hate it so much, so I just use plug-in ones. Although, I'm gonna be honest, I think it took, like, collectively all 5 of my cats spent the first 2 days that the fountain was running. They just spent 2 days batting the water out of the fountain onto the floor and then licking it off the floor. So I had to put, like, a pad down under it. And then after that, they got used to it, and then it's their favorite water dispenser in the house. They like it more than anything else. Ooh, Fairy Britain. My goal for the end of the year. Now, what say we switch gears, Miss Seki? It seems you have finished unloading the food. Perhaps you should inform Miss Atalanta. Good. Thank you, Seki. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate your help. If it weren't for you and Avikabran, the rebel army would have been wiped out today. Or, barring that, we may have ended up massacring those townspeople, and we could never have hoped to atone for such a sin. Thankfully, our own losses were minimal. At least, that is what I will tell myself to keep despair at bay. At any rate, I am sorry to ask this of you so soon after getting back, but I have another mission. We learned something in our intelligence gathering for this operation. It did not pertain to the operation, but it is nonetheless very important. It concerns the town of Yagatula. Do you remember what I told you before about the soldiers who came to join us and soon ended up leaving again? I'm told that they made their way into Yagatula, ingratiated themselves with the local authorities, and now essentially run the town as their own. Although they've been careful not to do anything that would incur Ivan the Terrible's wrath. Unfortunately, it would seem the Imperial Court's mage, priest, or some such caught wind of these Yaga. We have word that the Oprichniki and a servant have been sent to deal with them, which has thrown the whole town into chaos. But this also puts one of our enemy's stronger operatives alone and unguarded in the field, not counting the Oprichniki, of course. This represents an excellent opportunity to eliminate the servant. Unfortunately, Yagatula is too far away to send a large force without it being obvious. I am certain one of Avikabran's golems could cross the distance in no time. But, if he goes with you, I'm afraid that it would leave the golems here inoperable. In that case, I will set them to obey your commands, Atalanta. I'm afraid they won't be able to handle complex instructions, but you should have no trouble telling them who to attack or what to carry. That would be more than sufficient. The rebel army should not be going anywhere for the time being. We will remain here to tend to our injured and continue our trading. Jesus. I have a voice again, but I still am, I don't know, I think it's allergies at this point. I'm just stuck in, like, this horrific perpetual loop of, like, allergy causes, like, congestion. Congestion causes throat tickle. Throat tickle makes cough. Cough makes aggravated throat. Allergy makes throat more aggravated. Yeah, I guess that's, yeah. I think what we have here, in case we have that happen, is we've got a couple of those, like, gravity water bowls that they do for, like, the dogs, like the really big ones, and we put, like, one that's, like, I think it's, like, 2 or 3 gallons, just sits in the corner of one room at all times, and we just refill it every time it runs out. And, like, wash it when it does. So, like, that's what we do as the solution. Though it may have been a poor choice on his part to run away in Yaga Smolensk, of all places. I only hope the Oprichniki have not killed him. With all the traveling you are doing, you will soon know this land just as well as any Yaga. Well, since you look to be going against another servant, I reckon I'll tag along. Atalanta, you got any notion of who this servant may be? Yes, it seems he has not been at all shy about announcing his name. He is called Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Huh? Damn it, what is that thing? I'd rather fight the Oprichniki any day of the week. Fear me, my shriek shall shatter your eardrums, and my claws shall slice the very darkness itself. I shall execute you all and see that your sins are punished. There is no refuge for evil in this world. Gah! Another wrong made right. It is unclear whether there is meaning to this justice, but I am a servant. This is how things must be. Repent for your misdeeds and rest in peace. In this Lostbelt, death is the closest you will come to salvation. There he is. It's the servant. Come on, shoot him, quickly. Damn it, he's gone. Where is he? Where'd he go? Maybe if we follow his What do you imagine that will accomplish? You Yaga certainly are resilient. Even I cannot kill you unless I cut off your heads. I caught one. Damn it, let me go. Do not fret. I will, just as soon as you tell me what I need to know. Are you part of the rebel army? Hell no, we're not. Don't go lumping us in with those sissies. As you are the ones who have ended up captured, I have to believe that they are the more capable bunch. Shut up! Hand over your food. If we don't eat, we're gonna starve to death. Tell me, have you ever heard anyone play the piano? Huh? Piano? What's that? Pianina. Put him out of his misery, Oprichnik. Those of his profession do not deserve such a grand reward. Hey, stop that! Get away from... Ooh. Why? Why is there no music to be found here? Why does no one even attempt to open their mind and lend an ear to the arts, to the poetry of sound, to the whispers of the heavens? I suppose everyone who lives in this chilling hellscape is far too preoccupied with survival to appreciate the finer things in life. What are your orders? Are there any bandits still alive? Yes, one. Torture him as you desire, then release him. Release an enemy of the Tsar? You heard me. Release him, and he shall make his way to those with power. He will run to the rebel army for help, and thus lead us right to them. I would ask why you couldn't think of something so simple, but I suppose that would be too much to expect of denizens of dreams such as yourselves. Nonetheless, I know what I speak of when I say that letting this one go will help us eliminate the Tsar's enemies. Resist the urge to slaughter him now. Ah, this blizzard batters my cranium. Why am I here? What purpose am I meant to serve? I think my Duolingo's been trying to tell me something because it's been giving me sentences about a interesting niemiecki kompozitor, or an interesting German musician for like 3 months now. Which, like, I don't know why I need those specific words. I don't know if I'm ever going to be discussing an interesting niemiecki kompozitor in my life. It just seems like unnecessary words, but... Okay, see you later. Right, be careful. Oh, while you're out there, I would appreciate it if you could also deliver our manifesto to the villages you find along the way. Could I ask that of you? The sooner we have enough power to attack the capital, the sooner we can be free of the Tsar's tyranny. At the moment, though, we still have a great deal to do before we are able to free this world. Hey, guess we won't be seeing you around for a while. You guys really saved our krichat bacon back there. Bye-bye, Miss Weakling. Hey, don't be rude to Seki. But she's human, right? Aren't humans weak? I heard that's why they all died a long time ago, so I'm really surprised to see some now. Don't be stupid. These humans are here because they're strong. So strong they'll kill you if you keep mouthing off to them like that. Okay, sorry. For us, the idea that the strong get to eat is absolutely everything. It affects every aspect of our lives. I've had that idea imprinted on me since I was a pup myself, and I still basically agree with it. See you later, bring me back a souvenir. Okay. I finished making adjustments to your Golem, Master. Thankfully the blizzard is rather mild today, at least by this world's standards. I believe it would be best to take advantage of that and make as much progress as you can. And then there are the manifestos Atalanta asked you to deliver. Please make sure you're well prepared before you head out, Master. Don't forget to check your Arctic Mystic Code. Indeed, this cold is so severe that any slit in your Mystic Code could quickly lead to frostbite and necrosis on the affected body part. Even with your Magecraft protection, I do hope you will be careful out there, Master. My goal was always to unite all the servants summoned to this land and overthrow Ivan the Terrible alongside the rebel army. And now, thanks to the Master of Chaldea, that goal actually seems attainable, rather than a pipe dream. My head is killing me. I suppose even servants cannot always get what they want. When my pipe dream becomes reality, I wonder if I will wake from this dream too. I mean, to be more specific, Fae don't have the same moral compass that we do, right? Like, Fae just tend to work on a different set of rules. They still have things that they believe in and things that they stick to, but it's different from what we do, right? According to all the myths and fables about them. So, you know. Let me go, damn it. So you are a survivor from the rebel army. Unfortunately, you were the only one I was able to capture. The Oprichniki have a terrible time exercising control at times like this, you see. In that sense, you should count yourself lucky. I hope you understand that much. Oh my god. Just so you know, I'm only a new recruit. I don't remember anything. I see, so you lack confidence in your memory, eh? I appreciate you telling me that before we begin. Your kind are quite durable indeed. We could be out here all day if we take things one question at a time. What was that? I said you Yaga have a high tolerance for pain thanks to your dull sense of it. All the more so if you're prepared to give up your lives. In my experience, you cannot make a Yaga talk, whether you rip out his claws, break his limbs, or even toss him in a dark hole for a month. The Oprichniki's methods of torture only ever end up killing you. It's a tremendous waste of time. Is that so? If you're gonna kill me, then kill me already. I can't do that, my young Yaga. As you can see, I am a man of the cloth, here to spread God's word. I would like to avoid taking life unless strictly necessary. Besides, I have something else in mind. There's a test of sorts I've been meaning to try out. Oprichniki, we will be taking this Yaga with us. Do be careful with him. Yes, sir. What are you planning to make me do? I believe you said you lacked confidence in your memories. Then you have cause to rejoice. I'm going to give you the shock of a lifetime. See, you know what would have been a dead giveaway? That he was, Kire is playing Rasputin, right? Like, there's one tiny thing you could change about his physical appearance in this first ascension, and that one tiny thing would have immediately given away that he was Rasputin for me, right? And this, you could have switched his normal cross to a Russian Orthodox cross, right? You just add one extra line, and it would have immediately been clear. Oh my god. Okay. resorting back to my old tricks. No. No, not really. I mean, you could have given him, like, the traditional hairstyle of, like, the Orthodox priests, but, like, that wouldn't necessarily have kicked anything off, and honestly, I find that, like, facial hair often obscures other facial features, so it might have made him a little harder to identify as T.H.E, depending on how the beard looked. But no, an Orthodox cross would have, like, given it away immediately, because, like, who do you know that's Russian Orthodox, and famous enough to become a servant? That's a man. The list is vanishingly slim. Oh, ooh. Sorry, we're back online. I'm afraid our transmission is cutting in and out. It might be because of how fast you're moving. Can't you track Master even without communicating with her? Yes, of course. I'm monitoring her right now. Perhaps we should slow down for a while and take a moment to make a report. Why don't we take a break or even set up camp for the night? Punishment. They crave punishment because they're all really, really bad people. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned, right? Except instead of do 50 Hail Marys, eat spicy food. Well, that sounds like a fine idea. I confess, I'm about ridden down. What do you think, Master? You must be tired as well, no? Yeah, see? Yeah, but like, it still set him aside, and that could have been like such a small change made to like the character design. Like most people would barely have even noticed it. Fun fact, so I watched sound off in chat if you've seen or read Heated Rivalry, right? So I watched Heated Rivalry recently with a friend, obviously, because it's my type of thing. I love hockey. I love winter sports. I am genuinely a hockey fan, guys. Like, I promise you, this is not because of Heated Rivalry. I've been a hockey fan for years, right? And so, yeah, I watched Heated Rivalry because, you know, do not cite the deep magic to me, which I was there when it was written. You know, I come from a Yuri on Ice background, and I really liked Yuri on Ice, and really, Heated Rivalry is just the new version of Yuri on Ice, but I'll hold that diatribe back for now. But I watched Heated Rivalry, and so one of the main characters, Ilya, he wears a Russian Orthodox cross, right? Like for his mother, right? He wears it. And I was looking up merchandise to get a gift for a friend, right? Because I wanted to get my friend something that was like Heated Rivalry coded. And for some reason on Etsy, there were like a bunch of people just selling like Heated Rivalry decorative necklace Ilya Rozanov. And it was just the Russian Orthodox cross, and I was like, no, do not sell an Orthodox religious symbol without telling people that this is an Orthodox religious symbol. Oh my god. Like, that's actually crazy. Can you imagine, like, a bunch of, like, people who are obsessed with Heated Rivalry walking around just wearing Russian Orthodox crosses? Because they think it's just the thing that Ilya wears from the TV show because they didn't think to, like, use their brains and, like, look it up. Especially if you're supporting the idea of, like, gayness, right? A Russian Orthodox cross is not the symbol to be wearing if you want to put your support behind gay people. Like, oh my god. Absolutely wild choice. And it's like, it's not a hard thing to recognize. Like, the Orthodox cross is very distinct because it has the extra line. Genuinely, wild. Right, okay, everyone, please start getting ready to make camp. Oh. Incidentally, I believe we should begin by eliminating the nearby demonic beasts and securing the area. We certainly wouldn't want them attacking us while we are asleep. Alright then, it's hunting time. Yeah, just, you know, if you're gonna, like, get something else. Don't buy a Russian Orthodox cross because you really like Ilya Rozanov. Get something else. Get his jersey. Like get a sticker. Yeah. Wild. Why are these demon boars so chunky? So anyways, yeah, that's what I've been watching, Heated Rivalry, and I rewatched Yuri on Ice twice in the last couple of weeks, so I'm like deep in. Oh yeah, and then over this past weekend, so Lord of the Rings had its 25th anniversary. Yeah, Zira Herrera, but that was the pink triangle. The Russian Orthodox cross is still an actively in use religious symbol in a religion that is actively practiced by a huge majority of people in Eastern Europe, because it's not just Russia, right? It's other Eastern Orthodox nations. And the thing is, Ilya, like, even in the show, Ilya is not wearing the cross because of some sort of rebellion, right? Like, I think the context here is different because in this case, there's, like, more going on. You know what I mean? Like the thing with the pink triangle is the pink triangle traces back to like Nazi stuff, right? And so it was used in the concentration camps, but it fell out of use after World War II, and then it was reclaimed like a couple decades later and then co-opted as a symbol of the LGBTQ community, right? Whereas the Russian Orthodox cross is not necessarily being used as an anti-homosexual symbol, right? I mean, the Russian Orthodox Church does happen to be anti-homosexual, anti-LGBTQ, but the cross itself is like, I think it's different, right? Because like, you would make this, I would say you could make the same argument about the actual like Christian cross, right? Most LGBT groups aren't taking the Christian cross and reinterpreting it as a symbol of like pro-LGBTQ, right? It's different because there's an active multinational, like worldwide religion that is actively using this symbol, right? I think the key here is like the organized active use of it, because the problem with using a symbol that's associated to an active worldwide organized thing, right, is that you could try to co-opt it in like one place for like reinterpreting it, but that wouldn't necessarily translate very well. And so like, yeah, you and your little group would understand, but then another group somewhere else might not understand, right? Or they'll think that you believe something totally different, just because of what the symbol is. So I don't really think you could I don't think you could really reinterpret the Orthodox cross, right, which is just the symbol of the Christian denomination that is currently active and being practiced by like millions of people, into a pro-LGBTQ symbol in anything more than like a very small topical happenstance, right? Like, I'm sure there's gonna be some people wearing it being like, I'm supporting, like, you know, Ilya because he's my favorite character and he's gay and that's amazing, but like, that's not really going to transcend the Heated Rivalry community. And even in the Heated Rivalry community, if you know what it is, you're not going to be using it as an LGBTQ symbol, right? Like, I would not use the Orthodox cross as something to base an LGBTQ symbol on. Okay, buddy. Peachy got a bath, so she's clean and white, and she smells nice. I just think that the pink triangle is a very different situation because it was something that was used in a particular place and time, and then for the most part abandoned, and then brought back and reinterpreted into a modern symbol that stands against what it originally stood for. Unfortunately, the Orthodox cross is not falling out of use anytime soon. Peachy, I washed you, and now that your hair is in my mouth, come here. You cannot sit on my desk. Okay. She's so soft and clean. She's so nice. Hi. Hello, my ginormous child. She's so soft and clean, and you smell nice, and your butt's not dirty. I told my friends that she got a bath, and they were like, "Oh, so the poop deck's been swabbed." They're like, "Oh, did you cuddle the aircraft carrier?" Peachy, you're becoming known for being big. You need a diet. I don't think she cares very much. Not that happiness. Happy kitty. Hi, baby. Are you alright, Master? You're not too cold, are you? Seems you can make golems out of just about anything, huh, Avika Baran? Stones, trees, metal, you can just use all kinds of stuff, can't you? You are correct for the most part. Well, there's no shortage of snow around here. Could you make a golem out of that? Snow golems, eh? Leaving aside what to use as a core, I imagine it would be rather difficult to accumulate and maintain the material. Although they would have an advantage in that they would be very difficult to physically destroy, as they could always just reassemble themselves from all the snow around them. But no, it just wouldn't work. No matter how I run the numbers, the average core would just not be capable of accumulating sufficient quantities of snow. Using more valuable materials for the core would only result in golems that, while nigh impossible to destroy, are otherwise exceptionally weak. What do you think, Master? Hi, Frost! Oh my god, Peachy. True, this temperature is low enough to freeze almost anything instantly. The resulting golems would still have limited capabilities, but that would be a better trade-off, yes. You really do love golems, don't you, Avika Braun? Oh, I wouldn't say that. I simply dislike humans. Huh? Say what now? Oh, I don't mean that I despise them. My apologies. I should have chosen my words more carefully. I only meant that I find interacting with humans troublesome and tend to avoid it as much as possible. That is just the sort of person I am. Oh my god, Peachy, you're so heavy my wrist is hurting from holding you up. Hold yourself up a little bit. Since becoming a servant, I realize the error of my ways, at least in part, so I decided I should continue to talk to others, no matter how reluctant I may be to do so. Oh, if you find it unpleasant, we would be happy to keep quiet. No, that would not do. That would not do at all, Mash. While it is fair to say that I do not like humans, I did try to save them to the best of my ability. I did so in life, and I continue to do so in death, but I'm still not sure why, and that troubles me. Giants are supposed to be immortal. They must not be allowed to die. If they do, that will be my fault. Afikabron? Oh my god, your fur is in my nose. Apologies, I didn't mean to lose my composure. At any rate, I feel as though I'm very close to a breakthrough, and if I'm to find it, I need to continue. Oh man, that was a mistake. Oh. I need to continue talking with all of you. So don't worry about how I feel about it. I want us to continue talking freely amongst ourselves. Yes? That's true. You make an excellent point, Peachy. Your fur is in every orifice of my face. Maybe so, but I'm still glad you told us. I think it was very important that you did. Heroic spirits may exist to protect humanity, but that doesn't mean that they all feel the same way about it. Some used to be human, some are descended from gods, some were never human at all. Hi. True. This may sound impertinent, but the fact is that we are indeed allies now. We are our own community. Ah, that reminds me. Holmes, you around? Oh my god, Peachy. Oh, goodness. Oh. Oh my god. Peachy. Peachy, why am I covered in your fur? What are you doing? Hello, friend. Let me see your face. You have pimples. I'm gonna have to deal with that. You are gonna hate me when I start popping your pimples, baby girl. How do you have acne? You have fucking acne, you dumb cat. Oh my god. Yes, I'm here. What is it? I'm just a mite curious about what's going on outside of Russia right now. How's it looking out there? I'm afraid we are not in a position to find out that just yet. There's an enormous storm wall that surrounds all of Russia. Oh my fucking god. Every time I touch you, you shed a cloud, and then that cloud drifts down, and then it gets onto every single part of me. You are taking advantage of the fact that you are clean and I am willing to cuddle you right now. You little brat. Guess what? I did. Brother, why am I popping my cat's pimples? What the hell, Peach? You have never had pimples in your life before. And there's fur flying. Okay. And you're in the way of my phone. Alright, you live there. That said, the paper moon did show us what Earth currently looks like when we emerged here. It's become a smooth, perfectly round planet. Not a single sign of nature exists to be found, to say nothing of civilization. There may be some slight variations in elevation, but there are no mountains surpassing 1,000 meters that we have seen. The only things remaining on this now empty world are 7 abnormal regions, each of roughly the same scale as this version of Russia. I'm afraid that's all we know right now. Well, ain't that just perfect? Guess Russia ain't the only place that's changed more than a bit. My memories are all still a blur, but there's one thing I know to a certainty. I'm damn sure the place I lived my life in was a nice, easygoing world where there wasn't no trouble that couldn't be solved with a bullet. Now then, before we continue on our way tomorrow, I believe we should stop at the nearby village and hand out the manifesto. Peachy? Nope. Nope. You get to stay. Go away, servants. Leave now and don't come back. Oh, may I ask why? If you know that we are servants rather than humans, then why do you speak to us like that? I know that you servants are inhuman monsters. That's why I want you to go away. If that still isn't enough for you, then go ahead and kill me first. Hello, baby. Okay, let me see your face. Come here. Come here. Alright, guess what, Peachy? going to de-pimple you real quick. Since you keep scratching at it, I don't want you to do that. No, come here. Come here. Haha! Like a teenager. Okay, you're gonna say hi to chat like this, and then you're gonna go. Go. God, fur everywhere. I swear to God, I'm gonna shave her. I'm gonna take great joy in shaving her one of these days. For summer. There's fur on my glasses. Okay. Hello. Okay, alright. No fur on me. Well, nowhere that's bothering me anyways. No more than the normal areas where there's always fur because of the cats. Alright, are you that scared of Ivan the Terrible? You lot see our neighbor village on that map of yours? Yeah, I see it. Why do you ask? Go there and you will see a sign of the Tsar's power. Then I'm sure you'll understand. So long as that reminder is there, we could never even dream of defying him. Well, that was certainly not the warmest of welcomes. Nonetheless, I am curious about this sign of the Tsar. I suggest we head there now and see what we can learn from it. Very well then. I wonder what we shall find. I ain't too keen on sticking around this village any longer than we gotta. Let's get a move on. My phone screen is covered in fur, which I realize now that it's black. What happened here? Okay. Did an earthquake hit here? Maybe a twister? Oh. Yeah, that's a path of devastation is what that is. How terrible. What a horrible disaster this must have been. This is downright awful. What is it? We can't see anything on our end. Very well. I'll try to fix them. Did you just kick the comms? Are you trying to break our equipment, old man? Looking for an excuse to replace it or something? In case you somehow forgot, we can't just go buy a new one here. If you break it, I'm bringing a replacement from your quarters. You dare talk to your commander like that? Mash, use your demi-powers to give Munier the spanking of his life. Why? Why? Why spanking? Why is that the choice here, Gordolf? Weakened or not, you are still a servant, aren't you? Then get in there and shatter his coccyx. I'm sorry, Director, but I can't follow an order like that. Why would you ever even think to do something like that? I agree, Munier. This man is weird. Very well. If you would be so kind as to describe the scene for us, I should have no difficulty piecing together what happened. I ain't rightly sure, Holmes. Not a lot to describe. Can't say much more than the place has just been completely obliterated. There are, of course, no survivors to be found. Does it appear to have been burned to the ground? What do you think, Billy? Don't look that way, no. No scorch marks on what's left of the houses or anything like that. Besides, I got a feeling fire don't take well to the conditions around here. Don't see much burning. True, likely not the work of the Oprichniki either. They would have no need to destroy these homes. Tell me, Miss Seki, is there anything that strikes you about this scene? Anything at all? Yeah, are you talking about that explosion that was observable all the way from London? They say it was caused by a meteor, but no impact crater has been found like this one. You know, now you mention it, it does look like something crushed those houses from above. But it still somehow wasn't enough, so we got a crater here. Well, what are we dealing with here? Some kind of space rock or something else entirely? Whatever the case, this is the power we face by opposing Ivan the Terrible. The Yaga here all died instantly, without even a moment to be frightened. No wonder that the other village was so terrified. It would seem there is little to be gained by the handing out of the manifesto here. Yeah, but I think with Alexander Peresviet, right, the Bogatyr, I associate him more when I think of him with the Bogatyrs and less with priests. So I wouldn't necessarily see him wearing like a priestly garb and just a necklace. I'd see some sign of like weaponry, right? And the sons of Vladimir the Great, they were canonized as Russian saints, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you depict them as priests, right? Like, a lot of people are canonized as saints, and are depicted the way they were in life. And if they were the sons of a king, I wouldn't necessarily see them wearing the robes of a monk, and a cross and nothing else, right? There'd be some finery, there'd be other things, I feel like. And also, I just feel like Alexander Peresviet and the sons of Vladimir aren't as famous as Rasputin. I mean, you also have to think about like the bias of like who's the most famous Russian male priest, you know? Like there is an element of that, right? It's why every time that anyone says Olga in Fate, I think of Olga of Kiev, right? Because Olga of Kiev is the most famous Olga I know. But other people don't know Olga of Kiev, so they don't think of Olga as the most famous Olga they know. You know? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Jean's typically but in Fate, Jean's always wearing like armor and weapons, you know? Saints are often, like, when they're depicted as saints, they're drawn very differently from how they would have actually looked in life. Especially if they're female, they tend to make them look more like saintly and kind of sort of like soft and womanly, right? It's just to make them seem more acceptable to the general populace, rather than to depict them as that this is what she was like. Yeah. For the life of me, anytime someone says, "Oh my god, Olga," I'm like, "Oh, Olga of Kiev? Has she finally been made a servant?" No. I am forever denied. It would seem there is little to be gained by handing out the manifesto here. Yeah, suppose we might as well just head straight for our destination then. Well, no time like the present. Let's go and find out if this Mozart fella is the sort of monster we can beat or the sort we can befriend. However the chips fall, my 6-shooter will help see us through. Yagatula. The man in gray. Wait, hold on. That's a fucking Avenger, right? It's a fucking Avenger. Okay. Is archetype Earth a moon cancer? I think that's what moon cancers look like, the little symbol for them. I very rarely use moon cancers, so it's sometimes I can't remember what they're... It must be. It must be, because it's the only symbol I don't recognize. Right? Yeah, moon cancer. Okay. Alright. What do I know about... Okay. Alright, let's see. Okay. Okay. What's it? Arts. Could put it in my arts team and have a go. What the fuck? I have a Van Gogh in there. I was using this for something. God forgive, I cannot remember what the fuck I was using that for. Let's see. Yeah, it me! It me! Alright, let's try this. Yeah. Make an effort to try to use what Knick-Knack taught us last time, but it's been a couple of weeks, so... Oh, okay, I should have stuck to that one then. Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot about Estrella. Well, look, I was only focused on the 3 characters in front. Here we are. Seki, would you mind pulling your hood lower to hide your face? One cannot be too careful after all. I'll just go ahead and use my spirit form then. Wait, why is... What's wrong with Odysseus? Is it because it's a single... I'm confused. Yeah, I get why Estrella isn't good. But why... Oh, the secondary class. The assassins. Okay. Well, you know, we're going with it now. It's done. We picked it. We're going with it. It does seem lively here despite the late hour. It would be much easier to acquire information if Poxy were still here with us. But since he isn't, the best we can hope to do is eavesdrop. Wait just a moment, please. Oh, sure. May I ask why you're putting your hand up to the wall? Why, to eavesdrop, of course. Yeah, so, okay, look. The thinking started. It might not have finished, but it started, and now we just have to... We gotta live with what we picked. The Tsars. Long live the Tsar! The Oprichniki killed. Not enough demonic beast leather. There's a monster. I've been hearing strange sounds lately. Speaking of sounds, the Tsar... Not joking. He said he saw an old-fashioned human with his own eyes. Ah, here we are. Said they were at the old church. You know, the one up north. If we beat them, we've still got a shot at winning. Don't be stupid. Even if that's true, we're talking about someone the Oprichniki take orders from. We can't possibly beat someone like that. Nothing good can come from defying the Tsar. Don't give me that crap now. I'm sick of the damn Tsar. He pawns everything off on the Oprichniki, and when he goes out on his own, all he does is wipe another village or town off the map. And when he's not doing that, he doesn't even try to help us. We're the ones who built this city. The Tsar didn't do shit. Yeah, but so what? You know how strong the Tsar is. That's what it all comes down to in the end. We know that in our bones. There's not a single thing we can do in the face of such monstrous power. The only hope we've got is that he doesn't wake up. As long as he stays asleep, we can manage to get by. Damn the Oprichniki. They're nothing but the Tsar's dogs. Do we have no choice but to kowtow to them? It seems like it. There we go. I just learned that a mysterious servant is supposedly staying at an old church. All I did was apply my golem spell in a different manner. In truth, the technique does not lend itself very well to finding specific information. It was simply good fortune that I happened to find what we sought. That alone demonstrates how many Yiga are talking about this. In any case, shall we pay this church a visit? Oh, shit. Try to wipe my screen and this is what happens. So this is the church. I don't detect any movement around here. Indeed, nor do I see anything out of place that a servant might have left behind. It just looks like an ordinary neglected church. What do you think, Holmes? I imagine a detective of your caliber may find something we cannot. Well, it's a bit difficult to get a clear picture over the monitor, but yes, I do see signs that a servant was here. It seems the servant in question used this church as a base of operations. I believe this place served a similar function to a caster's workshop. He must have felt very much at home. Well, ain't that something? You really are a great detective. That was my analysis at work, thank you very much. All Holmes did was look at a summary. Drat, I've been found out. I suppose I got a bit carried away. I'm afraid I've been under a great deal of stress lately since I haven't been able to make any biting deductions. I do apologize. Buddy, you can't misrepresent yourself. That's rich coming from you, Detective Happy-Go-Lucky, as if you've ever had a stressful day in your life. You wound me, Gordolph. There are some mysteries that simply cannot be solved. That alone is a great source of stress for me. I imagine it is. Very well then. If the servant is staying here, why don't we wait for him to return? I agree with the Vikabran master. It must have been exhausting coming all this way in only 2 days. This seems like a good opportunity to rest up, and I urge you to take it. These benches may not make for the most comfortable of beds, but I suppose they will be considerably better than simply sitting down. Then, by all means, get as much rest as you can. No way. You really have no idea? Never mind their Magecraft alignments. You don't even know their names? You're kidding. I didn't know you were so cold-hearted, Seki. In that case, you really can't blame them if they wake off pissed off at you, can you? After all, you stole everything from them. Their jobs, their purpose, even their place at Chaldea. Come now, you really don't know? All the miracles you performed are about to be destroyed at the hands of the very paragon of mediocrity. Master. Are you all right, Master? You looked like you were having a nightmare. Thank goodness. For a moment, I was afraid one of your dreams had taken you to another world again. Has that really happened before? Oh, yes. Yes, several times. At any rate, Avikabran. I know. He's here. Well then, time to answer that age-old question. To pull the trigger or not to pull the trigger? Yes, it is. The servant we believe to be Amadeus is standing in the front of the church. He appears to be keeping his magical energy restrained, but he's also not moving from his position. Guess he's calling us out. What will you do, Master? Understood. Always try talking first. Watch out! Above you! Whoa there. Ooh. Well, that was a rather rude way to introduce oneself. Is that Amadeus? Well, here I am waiting for more filthy rebel soldiers to show up, and who should I meet but the Chaldeans? There's no place for you in this Lostbelt, Chaldeans. Your only escape now is death at my hands. Lostbelt, is that what he just said? Aha, that's it. And if this land's textures have been overwritten, that would make this a belt. Ah, this is the final piece of the puzzle I needed to complete my hypothesis. Woo-wee! Look at you, all dudded up. That's some kind of suit, or would you call it armor? You telling me that's Amadeus? I can't get a good reading on his spirit origin. He could be Amadeus, but he could also be someone else. Regardless of who he is, the spirits seem to agree on one thing. He is very much a harbinger of death. Harbinger. God's love is nowhere to be found here. There is only the hunt. As I am no longer human, I shall grant you the gift of death. Silence. Silence, silence, silence. My name is Amadeus. It must be, or else God will never forgive me. Oi. Well, talking didn't do much. Oh, which... Okay, so I do have this. Let's... Alright, I think that's a better option for us here regardless. Alright, let's see. I don't want to use that quite yet. Alright, you've got a defense bonus. Oh, it's invincible, and I don't think I need that quite yet. An NP gauge, and C-star gain, and a target focus. Okay. Alright, let's have a go. See if we can... I don't know, I just remembered Waver's caster, so at least I get the caster over assassin advantage there. It's going maybe okay. We're about to find out. I made a very bad team choice, so yeah. Okay. Very bad team choice. But I am saving myself from it, so. Why does he have a break bar? I do not like that. I do not like that. Okay, alright, let's see. So, in theory, right, so if I apply this to herself, it will skill seal for 1 turn. So if I apply this to herself and I wanted to like do something else, I should do it first. Yeah, that's what I figured. But like, okay. In theory, the increase NP gauge that goes for 3 turns, right? If I use that now, it's going to keep going and improve my... It's gonna boost up my ability to gain more NP gauge back on the... like, on the next couple of turns, if I understand it correctly. Oh, yeah, I see that remaining enemies number. I don't love that remaining enemies number. Okay, alright. Yeah, skill 1 is oh, skill 1 is battery, okay. Okay, alright. I need to do something, so... Yeah, okay. There we go. I don't know if this is gonna go till I get rid of, like, enemies or until I break the break bar, so I don't know. We'll see. Don't love it when I don't have as good of a... Let's see. Okay. I really need to get myself a Junako. Yeah, but if I'm getting an SSR ticket later this year, it's not going to Junako. Like, respectfully. Like, that's just not where it's going. Who do you think, Zero Herrera, do I not have and I desperately want? Who do you think? Who do you think? Yeah. I don't know, she's working pretty well for me so far, to be honest. I realize that the goal of this fight might be to eliminate all of the enemies on the field, but I'd be so for real right now, I think I actually might end up just taking out Amadeus. Like, genuinely. I don't know if that was the intention here. The win condition might have been kill everyone, but... Oh, I guess it couldn't have been kill everyone. It did have to be finish the fight. I don't know if Janako's gonna come up for raid up this year. I didn't see her in the raid up, like the actual event raid ups that I was looking through when I was planning my year out. So I haven't planned. I know she was on raid up just a month or so ago, and I did try to roll for her once, but I didn't get her at the time. Ah, Moon Cancer banners. No, Peachy, we already had this fight on camera. You are not coming back up here. Hey, don't take this the wrong way, but what is it? That's Arjuna, right? Are we did you really kill him? I mean, I'm sure you didn't kill him directly. But come on, there's all sorts of indirect ways to kill someone, right? Wait. care. You think I killed him? Don't be stupid. Right, of course. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. What? Is that not... No, that's not the position he stands in. You're right. You're right. You're right. Okay. Yeah. It looked like Arjuna alters hair for a second. Okay, Look. Okay, I'm gonna be so for real. I didn't realize that's what this was. I didn't realize. I didn't. No, I really mean it. Don't be stupid. Of course I killed him. Yes, I killed Amadeus myself. I am the one who requested the Requiem in D minor. It was I. I am the reason the great prodigy is dead. Yeah, I meant God Juna, because it has like a similar hair profile to God Juna. And I just used God Juna, so that was what was in my head. Preposterous. How unfortunate I would be if only that were true. Or how fortunate. I couldn't kill him. I just couldn't. Not because we were good friends or even acquaintances, but because I couldn't bring myself to snuff out the life of one with such God-given talent. That is who Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was. If I had let this thing continue reading, I would have figured out that it wasn't. Also, I don't know when servants get released. I'm chronically bad at knowing when servants had got released, like, in turn. Because, like, how am I supposed... They've all been out as far as I'm aware. And yet, the world, myself included, cannot but seek someone to blame for the death of one such as he. So we told ourselves that some fool must have driven him to the depths of hell, because all they envied is his divine symphonies. Yeah, Yuga Kshetra. But, like, you know, in my head, Arjuna and Karna, they came out in North America, right? Like, we got Karna and Arjuna in North America. It was just the altar version that came out later, I'm assuming. And also that we could avoid facing the most hellish truth ourselves, that even a composer of his incredible talent could die just as easily as anyone else. That is how I was remade. Yes, remade. But that's okay. That's how it should be. I loved him. I envied him. I yearned for him. I respected him. I admired him. Looked up to him. So to bear the honor of being the one to kill that great prodigy, I could ask no greater gift of God. I'll be so for real, Frostshard. My first thought was because his hair profile looked a little bit like Godjuna, my first thought was, oh, are we getting a not a flashback, but a flip over to two characters in Yuga Kshetra interacting right now? Cause we've gotten Kirstaria like coming over here and having like meta conversations. So my thought was like, you know, I don't know, Frostshard. My brain played a trick on me. It was like, that looks like Godjuna's hair. Obviously, this is Yuga Kshetra. Cause that's what my brain did. So, to bear the honor to being the one to kill that great prodigy, I could ask no greater gift of God. Still, that said, I feel like he once told me something much more important. I don't know, that's an altar. I don't know if he's gonna listen. There is nothing for us to discuss. Gotcha, you masked bastard. God damn it. And I don't think that's necessarily an important factor in this game, Dakota Doyle. I feel like I've seen assets that don't at all match the actual, like, where we're supposed to be or when we're supposed to be. And I just have to go, uh-huh. It's not him. That's not Amadeus at all. He doesn't look anything like him, and his spirit origin is different. Not even being an altar could explain this much difference. Who are you, really? I'm not Amadeus. Damn it, I'm not Amadeus. Miss Seki, look out, it's an ambush. You guys must be working with old-fashioned radar. That explains why it was so easy to sneak up on you. Huh? That voice! Stand by, Oprichniki. This is the one I've been waiting for. Looks like the court musician isn't doing so hot. Well, that's okay. I wasn't gonna need him much longer anyway. Goodbye, Salieri. Salieri. So that was Antonio Salieri. Kadok, is that you? Mash Kyrillite? Oh, you're just on comms. Now then. I know it's kind of cliched, but some things just gotta be said, you know? It's my boy! It's Kadok! I really gotta get his Nendroid, but they need to make an Anna Nendroid. We meet at last, last master of humanity. My name's Kadok Zemlopus. I'm the crypter in charge of this Lostbelt. I could fix him, chat. Chat, we could fix him. He could be ours. We could definitely fix him. Wait, when you, Frostshard, I shit you not, you messaged "our" in all caps, and my only thought, there's this meme, and it was the first meme I ever saw in Russian, right? And it was like a picture of a bathroom, right? And then a picture of a cat, and in the first text it said, "Я иду в туалет," right? I am going to the bathroom. And then in the second one, it was the cat like walking, and there was the Soviet flag like faded over the image of the cat walking, and it said "Мы ведем в туалет," which means we are going to the bathroom, because you know cats like to follow you to the bathroom. So it's like you say "our," and it feels like that Russian meme where it's like "мы," not "ya," "мы." It's just a joke about like the pronouns and like communism and stuff. You know, funny things to joke about. Personal pronouns, plural versus singular, and communism. But it's funny, Camivax. Like it was a very funny meme because my cats actually will bang down the bathroom door while I'm in there, right? Like if I go to the bathroom and I shut the door like tight, they'll like bang on the door because they want to be let in. So it was very funny at the time, and it was like the first meme I ever saw and could read in Russian. So it's just stuck in my head. Alright, I need Phoenix. I probably need that other thing I don't have a lot of, but Phoenix Feathers I can actually use right now for leveling up one of my servants. So, we'll stick with those. Alright. So, an assassin. So, we'll grab a caster. It immediately grabs Anna. What is Anna? Wait. Did I? Oh, okay. Blue. Yeah. Okay, and then trying to remember my basic stuff. We'll do that. Yeah, I need the Phoenix Feathers. See, but that would be a smart thing to do, Dakota Doyle, and I could just get Jinako and other servants that aren't Castoria. Like me rolling on Duryodhana later this year. And Tutankhamun. Kadok, where have I heard that name before? You know what this name is! If I may, Senpai. Kadok Zemlopus is a member of T.H.E. He possesses an exemplary aptitude for race shifting, and I believe... Don't bother. I don't care if she remembers me or not. Besides, Wodaim already told you who we are. I'm one of the 7 cryptors, and we help to bring about the end of the world. That should be enough for you. Wait, please. Then, does that mean that you and Kirstaria and everyone else on Team A are really... You sure talk a lot more now, don't you? Back then, you just parroted whatever anyone told you. But that doesn't matter. Stay out of this, Kyrillite. You were nothing more than a tool to us, a device we planned to bring along to help us summon servants after we race-shifted. We never cared about your opinions. You were just supposed to keep your mouth shut and help us out however we needed. So don't bother worrying about infringing on our rights or what we're like as people. We never bothered to do that for you after all. That's not... No, that doesn't matter anymore. Now you're an enemy of Chaldea, aren't you, Kadok? That's right. I'm glad you're not a complete idiot. That saves a lot of time. We've already made our declaration of war. Our goal is to grow our Lostbelts and bring about an end to proper human history. I guess we're already pretty much taking care of that last bit. Lostbelt. Is that what this singularity is called? No, a singularity is just a single point in time. This is a belt. The whole point when everything changed in this world happened long ago, and now it has its own history. It sucks that there's no rock music anymore, but the demonic beast howls can get pretty close. I don't have to tell you shit, but I guess we can talk a bit before I kill you. Tell me, Seki, why didn't you die instead of us? Huh? You heard me. There would have been way fewer losses that way. We all know what you achieved. Gotta admit, it frickin' sucked to have to be one of the first things we heard about after we woke up. And now that we know, I can say this with total certainty. If it had been me, or even better, anyone else on Team A, especially Wodime, I bet there'd have been way fewer dead, and we wouldn't have taken a whole damn year either. Exactly. You just happened to be there, so you just happened to get chosen. And thanks to that, a ton of people died in the incineration of humanity. Congratulations, you racked up the highest casualty count imaginable. That's enough, Kadok. Remember, I'm Seki's servant now. I'm not about to let you insult my master, no matter what the circumstance. You can't fool me, Kyrillite. Don't tell me the thought never crossed your mind. Everyone on Team A was chosen for a reason. Wodime, Ophelia, Pepe, Daybit. Any one of them would have done a better job than Seki there, and you know it. You may be right, but there's no point in thinking about that now. Wow, Mash, way to have my back. The fact is, none of you were there. We all did the best we could under the circumstances. We didn't have time to even consider hypotheticals during the year it took us for the restoration of humanity. But I can tell you there's one thing I'm certain of after what you've said, Kadok. Oh, and what's that? I would never have lived to see how things turned out if anyone from Team A had been the one to handle it. If it wasn't for Master Seki, I wouldn't even be here right now. Well, I guess you've got me there. Any one of us would have probably abandoned you without a second thought at some point. So if you're in charge of Russia, Kadok, I take it the others are all in charge of these other lost belts? That's right. Not that knowing that's going to do you much good. We're not destroying the world. All we're destroying is proper human history. Then again, we're all going to pit our lost belts against each other too, so I guess those will be going away as well. By the way, who are those servants you've got with you? I do not feel any particular obligation to divulge my identity to a spoiled child of an enemy such as you. Same here. Not that I expect I'm fooling anyone. Well, whatever. It never hurts to be cautious, but I'll be getting rid of you all anyway. Oprichniki, kill them. Yeah, right? Like, why didn't you die instead? 'Cause I wasn't there. Because I was so useless to the team that I just wasn't anywhere near the place where everyone who was useful got blown up. Master, the Oprichniki are about to attack. Please prepare for battle. Exactly. Ugh. Battery is okay, so it's a 50% battery, and I probably should have known that, but yeah, thanks, Marie. Not my problem. Oh, yeah, see, that's not my fault, then. Actually got a pretty good... Okay, yeah, that's 30. I need to keep the calculations for my... Saw I had enough arts there. Yeah, it is a little funny. But I needed a caster, and, you know, it is Anastasia, Permafrost Empire, so who better than Anastasia? Thought I'd... What is this? Okay. Not the most helpful. If I get her NP up again, it's good. This is kind of a waiting game at this point. Kairu! She's so cute. She's so cute. What? No! 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 Bato was pretty much the biggest and most prolific manga pirating website for the last like several years. Bato had everything. Manhwa, manga, like everything. Like millions of works. It's basically the biggest site for the last like several years. Honestly, even Manga Dex didn't have as big of a library as Bato. Even though Bato's translations sometimes were a little bit more, a little bit harder. Oh my god. Oh my god, I was to the point of Bato where I didn't even bother to look up what I was trying to read online. I just went straight to Bato and looked it up on there. Oh. No. Oh no! Where is... Oh, there's this one translator. I won't say their name. I will not say their name. There's this one translator who has just been... So they post every single, like, gay manga and manhwa, right? Like, translated. And most of them don't even have English publications, right? Like that's the thing, is that it's been very slow for gay stuff to get like official translations. Like I've got one here, right? Like you know, I've been collecting, but this is like one of very few series that have been coming out legally. And there was this one person who translated all of them, and they always posted to Bato almost exclusively. Now I'm gonna have to look up that person and see if they're gonna keep posting and where to, because oh my god. I'm devastated. That's like, we recently went to the Art of Manga exhibition, right, in San Francisco. And one of the things at the back of this Art of exhibition is there are a couple articles, right, where they're talking to manga publishers, and they're talking about, like, they actually cite, right, like getting rid of manga decks and stuff like that. And they talk about how pirating sites are actively terrible for manga and stuff like that. And here's the thing. I get that you're losing a ton of revenue, right? From not posting, right? Like these sites do take a ton of revenue from buying things from publishers, right? But by and far the vast majority that piracy sites get, like in terms of use, right? By and far, by percentage and research, the vast majority of things that are read on piracy sites with fan translations are because they aren't available in a legal translation into the language that you want to read them in, right? Like there are so many manhwa that do not have an accessible English translation, right? So of course I go to a piracy site to read them, because they don't exist. So you take them down, right? And now, like, for example, granted, I'm a very good, like, piracy reader, right? Because I read something on a site like that, right? And then I wait, and if it gets a paper translation, I buy the paper version to support the author, right? Like, I do that. I know most people don't, but I fucking do. But the thing is, if I don't know what these works are, right? If I, like, don't have a translation of what this is, so I don't know what it is, I can't just look up a random Korean thing and read it and then support it to have it published into English. Like, how? I don't understand. All these publishers get so mad about piracy sites, but, like, publish things. Make them accessible. Like, make them accessible for a reasonable price online. Don't follow Webtoons model or Web Novels model or any of these stupid ass price gouging models on these different, like, I use all those websites and they're awful because they expect you to pay so much. Like, I'm trying to get Knickknack to read a webtoon called The Gamer, right? It's a decade old. For its entire lifespan, The Gamer has always been free on Webtoon, right? Like, I read it from like 2 chapters in, I was reading The Gamer, and I read like all 500 chapters. It ended earlier this year, right? Or early last year. So it ended, right? And you know what Webtoon did immediately after it ended to a 500 chapter series? They locked it all behind a paywall. And The Gamer does not have a physical publication. There's no place where you could, like, just buy a physical copy of the book. This is ridiculous. I'm so upset right now, and I'm not going to stop being upset about this, because all of these, like, these corporations are gonna be so happy that they've taken down sites like Bato and stuff like that. And the thing is, in the long run, it's going to hurt them more, right? Because people who used Bato religiously are gonna get more determined to use pirating sites in retaliation for this, right? That's what people who used manga decks did. They got more determined to pirate things in retaliation. And also, you're losing out on a huge chunk of audience who might get into something because of a fan translation and then be willing to buy it or follow it in the original language or something once it's published. I'm so mad. I'm so fucking mad. So fucking mad. Bato was my One Piece. Bato was actually my One Piece. I never I never had a series I couldn't find on Bato. Yeah, you kill the visibility for foreign audiences too. Like, I understand that maybe you're losing some money in revenue, but you're also losing an audience. You're losing engaged people who might be willing to read your work that you are not publishing in another language. So mad. I'm actually fucking scared. I have lived through so many pirating sites being taken down too. Like, when I first started reading manga, I was reading it on the original Manga Fox, right? And the way I used to read manga on Manga Fox, right, was because I didn't know much about manga. So I used to use the random shuffle function on Manga Fox, and I'd click it, I'd read the description, and if I wasn't interested, I'd click it again, and I'd keep going until I found something I wanted to read, and then I'd read the whole thing. And I remember Manga Fox going down, right? I've used Manga Dex, I've used Manga Fox, I've used about 15 or 20 other websites, right? And sometimes I'll just use whatever something's available on. But I have lived through so many site takedowns, right? And the thing that has hurt the most is when a site takedown happens and there are manga that I was reading that I could only read on that website because they are not being published into English, right? A really good example of that is... So, if we go back to Manga Fox, right? One of the first long mangas that I ever read, right? Like, over 20 volumes was this, right? The Wallflower. The Wallflower was one of the first long manga series that I ever read. The Wallflower does not have an official English publication anymore. It was published by Kodansha Comics so long ago, and they don't renew it. They don't publish this anymore. The copies I have, I got from a thrift store less than 5 years ago. I read Wallflower when I was in middle school, right? There was like a good 5-year period where I could barely find a way to read this because the main site it was on had been taken down and no one ever fucking bothered to publish it into English again. Like, this is what you're losing out on. I would buy these if they were being published, and they're not. So why does it, if you are not making money off of publishing it, why does it serve you to remove from me the one way that I can read something that I enjoy? Yeah, that's the other thing. The amount of things that are just not available in my region, right? On streaming sites. Okay, where is it available then? Fucking God. God, I'm fucking steamed. God, I'm fucking steamed. Yeah. But if physical media isn't available, it just doesn't feel fair to me that publishers are the ones who choose to stop producing things, and then they punish us as consumers for wanting those things still, even though they're the ones who aren't publishing it. Why am I being punished? Because you don't want to pay for the licensing of a series that you once owned. It's unfair. It's punitive. It upsets me. The amount of manga series that I have trouble finding now because I read them on Manga Fox and they were out of print then and are still out of print now, and all of my bookmarks on Manga Fox disappeared when the site went down, and sure, we have a new Manga Fox now, but it's not the same! It's not the same. I'm getting too worked up. I'm getting way too worked up. I'm getting so worked up. Okay. I'm so upset. Yeah. Yeah, no, genuinely. They're like, oh, how do we stop pirating? Maintain your publications. Make stuff available. Here's the thing. I wouldn't even care as much if you were like, hey, we don't regularly print this anymore, but you could, like, special request pre-order it and wait, like, 3 months and get a copy. Okay, I'll do that. I'll wait 3 months. I'll special order it. But... it's so upsetting. It's actively so upsetting. It really, really is. Alright, it wants me to use a rider this time. I'm assuming because the boss is a caster. But there are also assassins, which is fine. I have casters in my party. Oh, yeah, that would be this time, Nerfmeister. I just... like, this is one of those things where, like, you give me, like, a bottle or two of soju and then set me off on this tangent and watch me go. The way that this could become a 4-hour diatribe over this. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, part of, like, I don't necessarily go for physical releases on, like, TV shows and stuff, because I just assume that, like, I'll find it on pirating if I really need to, or it's available streaming or somewhere online that I can buy. I mean, because I have, like, Google Play movies, and I know that I don't technically, they can, like, choose to get rid of those at any point, but they haven't, and so I kind of let that be. But I am very much, at least book-wise, a physical media person. Like, I like to have my books physically, and I feel like that's just a remnant of the last, like, 15 years having so many different pirating sites taken down in front of me, right? Like, I've lost so many mangas and manhwas and stuff that now I'm like, if it has a release, I will try to find it. I will buy it used. I will pre-order it. Like, my Amazon account has, like, manhwa pre-orders out, like, 3 years. Because I'm like, okay, if I express interest, they can see the number of people who want this to come to publishing. And at least I'm doing my part in trying to encourage the publication of these things. So I mean, Knick-Knack knows that I have, like, I genuinely do pre-order books out, like, 3 years in advance, because I'm like, I want to put my name down and show the corporations that this is media that we want to see published physically. Like, I have the next 3 books of this series on pre-order, right? There are series as we used to read for off the shelf. Like, we read a series called A Stepmother's Marchin', right? Knick-Knack really liked it. I love it. I've had the 6th book on pre-order for 2 years. It keeps getting pushed back again and again and again. I'm concerned that it's not gonna ever come out. But at least I did my part in expressing my interest in it being published to the English market physically, right? Because I don't necessarily trust the sites like Webtoon and stuff. I don't trust that if I spend coins on a series there, right? Like, if I buy a chapter or 2, well, what happens when they take that series off their site, right? Like, what happens when that site shuts down? What happens when this app that all of my bought chapters are stored on, what happens when that site goes down? What happens when that series is no longer hosted by that website, when they no longer own the license? Do I still own my chapters? Do I get to keep my chapters? Like, have I just bought media that I do not get to keep if something happens? Oh my god. Jesus. So aggravated about this. So fucking aggravated about this. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Part of the reason why I pre-order on Amazon, though, is because at least I'm showing, like, the support through, like, a big corporation that, like, will try to make good on this sort of stuff. At least, like, a little. Oh, yeah, my CEs are currently fucked up. I forgot to put them in, and I just haven't figured out who needs what and when. But yeah, like, Knickknack's got a large collection of FGO stuff, and I think that's really fucking cool. You know? Yeah, Zero, Knickknack is absolutely fucking psyched. We both love Yona of the Dawn, but I kind of gave up on Yona of the Dawn ever getting a season 2, but now that Yona of the Dawn has, or on High School Host Club and Yuri on Ice, please. Those are next! Need a season 2! Yeah, that's what I'm worried about with stuff like video games and stuff, is that, like, what happens when that stuff goes away? Like, what happens when my guarantee of where I bought the thing that I bought isn't available anymore, right? Because it's not like it's easy for you to just download this stuff, right? Like, I can't, even on pirating sites, I can't just, like, download the chapters I'm reading, right? Like, it doesn't work that way. So it's like, okay. My. Looks like I'll have to make another one. A Kabbalist. Are you Solomon ibn Gabirol, aka Avikabron the Golem Master? I suppose using so many golems does make it obvious, even with the mask. You are indeed correct. I don't even need to bother asking about you. Well, I can't tell if you're Billy the Kid or Buffalo Bill, but that doesn't much matter. The hell it doesn't! I'm Billy. Ain't gonna tolerate being confused for no prairie lover. Anyway, this works out nicely. You've got your servants and I've got mine. Let's find out which of them is stronger. Castor. Oh no. Anna! Was it worth coming out all this way then, Master? I hate letting wild cards run around, so yeah, I feel a lot better now. That's the woman who destroyed Chaldea. Then she was a servant who hails from this version of Russia. I knew it. Avikabron seems like he would be rather useful. So what, you want me to change out your contract? I mean, I could do that, but... Alright, it might not be the easiest fight for you, but I'm sure you can pull this off. Oh yes, that much is certain. Bow down before the glory of the Tsar, fiends of proper human history. My name is Anastasia. I am the daughter of this land's undying dynasty, now and forevermore. I knew it! Your Grand Duchess Anastasia of the Romanov dynasty. But how is that possible? You're a tragic figure, not a valiant one. Nothing you did should have let you become a heroic spirit. Oh, fuck off. Yes, you're right. I have no barbaric tales of heroism to my name, nor any stories of royalty gone mad. But I do have thee. I am a servant of this Lostbelt, and as such I shall eliminate you all. Come, thee, let us kill them together. Hear my command and obey. You are to become sculptures of snow and ice, writhing in agony in this world of permafrost for all eternity. I'm so worked up right now. Okay. I have no clue what Summer Da Vinci's kit does. Okay. Well, that seems good to use. Probably drop that. Yeah. It's not very nice. I mean, yes and no. I would argue that, like, the legends around her survival would constitute of, like, enough of something to create a servant. Especially with as much as Tsar Nicholas and his family are today revered in Russia. Because they are very popular in Russia now, right? Like, surprisingly. Just a thought. Should get my MP up, and then I don't think I... Oh yeah, because these are assassins, but she's most of what I have, so it's... All my cards practically were her, so let's... You know... Oh man, I'm really not getting... Ugh. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I'm just making the comment that I wouldn't necessarily see her as a figure that couldn't become a servant. Like, we've seen servants made on less, to be honest. Okay, thank God. Yes, I know I got your recharge up, but honestly, you're not as helpful right now, so we're gonna... About a year ago, I started keeping a list of all the manga that I was actively reading, where I just write down the name and the chapter I'm on, or whether I've completed it or not, so I still at least have that left. I mean, it could be worse, but, you know, it definitely could be worse, but I at least have that, so at least with the stuff I was actively reading, I can, like, check myself. Fuck off. It's never a great layout. Probably could have chosen a better layout and just brought Da Vinci in later, because at this point I'm not really going to have her for the final battle, because I don't think she's going to survive. Which is not ideal, but, you know. Technically, though, I think Odysseus is in my backline, so I'll still have a rider coming in for the final battle, hopefully. It's just not going to be... Oh! It was a one of two. Okay. Well, still not ideal, because I don't have charged NP. Ugh. Fuck is accelerated curse? Okay, I want to know what that is. Oh, increased charge by 2 each turn. Okay, so she's gonna 3-turn loot her NP. I don't like that. I really do not like that. Okay, let's see. Can get you up. Yeah, this is the first time I've had one of those. I don't know how this is gonna work. It's gonna be interesting. What a terrible amount of damage to have done. Ooh. Oh, okay, it took off her debuffs. Oh, yeah, because the master can pull something. I don't know, I don't think I'm doing terrible. It's a little annoying, but... Oh, command seals, I forgot about that. Forgot that was an option. Ugh. You gotta hit me so hard. I don't like it. I don't like it. Oh, NP resist up, huh? You gonna do that to me, you little piece of shit? God, I hate you. I mean, I love you, but okay, we're gonna stun you for a second. And we're just gonna drop some more. It's still gonna do a decent amount of damage, presumably. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Not terrible. Hey, I think that was pretty good. Yeah, I think it is really funny that of all the teams that Knick Knack showed me, the arts team is the one that I've most easily managed to grasp at least the way that it works, because at least I think the NP looping makes more sense to me than some of the other stuff. Like I can at least like see the math behind like, this is 10, this is 20, this is 50, and you trigger the arts to get the NP back up as fast as possible and back around and just hit again and again and again. Yeah. Really, I thought Buster was the most brain dead, but no, that's what I've been using. V, let your gaze unfurl even more. Let your wicked eye expose the truth behind all things. Mystic eyes. So that demonic beast is what's been turning my golems to dust in an instant. How rude. V is no demonic beast, he's my most trusted elemental. He has been an ally to the Romanov dynasty for generations. That doesn't make him any less of a monster. I suppose I was a bit late coming up with an anti-Mystic Eye strategy. Anastasia, look out! Salieri's woken up. Cursed dogs of the Tsar. V. Yeah. Behold, my noble phantasm. Our Lord in heaven, have pity on me. Dio Santissimo Misericordia de mi. V. This is... Can't believe that was the first thing he pulled after getting his memories back. What a whack job. Still, looks like that was all he had. Oh my, you certainly startled me. I must be the only member of the Romanov dynasty who's ever been attacked from above by the court musician. Not that it matters now. You, how dare you brainwash me, twist me into doing your dirty work. You're nuts! I didn't twist you into anything. All I did was put you to work in an effective way. Anyway, I can't have you running around on your own anymore, no matter how weak you might be. Anastasia, crush his legs. Got you. Golems, activate. Mine hand is a spear of azure ice. Chesed Sephiroth. Chesed, probably. Did he just turn snow into golems? Anastasia! Aww. Since when do masters go around shielding their servants? He took the hit for her. OTP. OTP. It's no big deal. I just did it because I thought I could. And I was right. Neither of us is hurt, are we? T.H.E. Very well then. I believe that is our cue to escape. Ugh. I trust we will be taking him with us. I see. So this is what it means for one's master to rub off on you. I will have to bear this in mind for future reference. Follow them. Understood. Would it be any consolation if I said we at least avoided the worst possible outcome? I suppose it would have been best if we could have crushed them here, but we didn't have the priest or enough Oprichniki to make it happen. If we can take them all together, so much the better. Besides, thanks to you, I got an idea. What is it? If it works, it might be just what we need to bring the big mountain all at once. I see. I thought a plan would take a little longer to come to fruition. It all depends on how well we negotiate. If I can offer him something he wants, he's bound to give in. That's the sort of servant he is. All right then, let's start spreading the Tsar's glory to this part of the frontier. Oprichniki, this place was harboring traitorous rebels. I take it you know what to do. Yes, everything shall burn, everyone shall die. That's right, you're all to crush this town with your hands. That must have been what they were like back when they were alive too, just like the ones who killed me. Keep that to yourself, Anastasia, or you'll end up disrespecting the Tsar. Master, don't you preach to me about disrespect. Right, sorry about that. Anyway, they should be done at the palace at this point. That's true, we should hurry back then. The Tsar must be looking for me by now, even if he still hasn't fully awakened. Look, I too am based for Anna. Kadok and I, we get it. I got you, Kadok, I get it. Okay. An interesting combination. Oh, it was, I remember, such a beautiful, peaceful day. The flowers that bloomed here were so beautiful, so strong. Look at this. These must be the hardiest flowers in the world. Then you too are a flower blooming strong here in the confines of the palace. That's what I wanted to say. Maybe I actually did. Or maybe I was never able to summon up the courage. Either way, I grieved for the flowers. And yet, now, I can no longer even remember what they looked like. Why do you look so sad? I feel like I'm having a bad dream. Why would I feel this way when everything I see is so beautiful? You must be tired. Come, lay your head on my lap and rest. It is the least I could do for you, my beloved Tsar, my beloved husband. Dad, why do the Yaga have to be strong? Well, the way I see it, we Yaga made a mistake. A mistake? We mistook how the world works, or maybe how we choose it? Whatever it was, we made a mistake, and the world left us behind. Still, while we may have made a mistake, that doesn't mean we were in the wrong. We're still here. We're still alive. So long as that's the case, we'll keep on fighting until the world ends, once and for all. Okay. I still remember that conversation. This world is always beset by blizzards. It's rare that we ever see the sun's light directly. It's not just in my head. Surviving here really does take a lot out of you. I think I get what my old man meant now. No matter how hard it gets, we will keep on surviving until there's no more world left to us. Oh, hold on. Make sure that I didn't get an important text message. Nope. Shoot. Okay. Okay. No, stream didn't break. I needed to check something. No matter how hard it gets, we will keep on surviving until there's no more world left to us. So this is the capital, Yaga, Moscow. Which, okay, I do have an interesting comment to make about the fact that we're using, let's see. Yeah, because I don't know. I always think it's interesting because technically the capital of Russia did move in the 1700s. So like, yeah, it was Moscow before that, but I'm so not used to like the historical capital being Moscow, because often when we're talking about history, we're talking about a bit more modern history. So like, I often think of like historical Russia as like 1700s, and then I'm like, oh, St. Petersburg, the capital. But if you go even further back, it is Moscow, which is a little funky because like this is further back because Ivan the Terrible, but then we've come forward in time. So the capital never moved from Moscow to St. Petersburg, which makes sense. I guess the biggest way it makes sense, right, is that Moscow is more central than St. Petersburg is to at least the large majority of Western Russia, although having a capital in St. Petersburg or Moscow is not at all close to Eastern Russia, you know? So it's kind of like, yeah, I get it. I've always thought it was so funny that the capital is just so far over, but then the population is also concentrated to that side of Russia. Not to say that there's not people living in the eastern half, but there's, you know, per capita, a lot less people living in eastern Russia. Yeah. So this is the capital, Yaga, Moscow. Goodness, I can't believe he defied the Tsar. Worthless Yaga. Hell's too good for him. Damn it. Move. Shut up. Did that Yaga do something bad? He's an incorrigible Yaga who forgot the debt of gratitude we owe to the Tsar. Now he's suffering the consequences for incurring the Tsar's wrath, and rightfully so. Make sure you don't ever end up like him. I don't know what he was thinking, defying the strongest being in existence. We all need to stick together if we're going to survive in this world. Stick together, he says. What a laugh. It's so funny it makes me want to scream. All we do is abandon our weak. We cut them out like Krichat entrails. In consequence, our numbers are always dwindling. That's who we Yaga are. We just keep dying and killing. We live without hope. We're just waiting for our inevitable doom without even trying to fight back against it. You must be the first rebel to ever make it this far, Paxi. Also, so many different, like, palaces and like, major parts of, like, government and stuff do have headquarters in St. Petersburg. Which is just so funny to me, right? Because you talk about, like, the most famous palaces of the Romanovs. They're not in Moscow, right? They're in St. Petersburg. Which is very funny. By the way, there's still something I don't quite understand. After your rebel friends retreated, why did you continue to wander around the town alone? Surely you weren't just bringing up the rear. Shut up. Very well, then let's change the subject. Would you mind telling me where the rebel army base is located? It can be our little secret. I'm afraid I've been so concerned about it that it's been keeping me up at night, just like Kadok. Kadok, I was unfamiliar with your game. I get it, Caddock. I get it. If you could help me with my insomnia, you have my word that I will let you go in return. You really think I'd ever tell you that? What's so funny? What's with the creepy laugh? Easy, young Poxy. Relax. I know you're just an ordinary Yaga. As I said before, I also know that even ordinary Yaga are highly resilient creatures. Physically, that is. Conversely, they are mentally fragile and quite easily broken, especially in the face of someone stronger than they are. Perhaps it's their bestial instincts at work? Who could say? What are you talking about? What are you getting at, you evil bastard? Oh, that should become clear shortly. This will be a test of sorts for myself, as well as for you. What is this place? It would seem to be a village that the Oprichniki razed to the ground. Unfortunately, none survived. Though it pains me to say this, I believe we should set up camp here. We need to take advantage of everything we can after all. Right, Andrew? I mean, you know, between Anna and Rasputin, he's really got some spoiled for choice there, really. At least physically. Yeah, Peter the Great and Catherine the Great would make fantastic servants. I'd love to see Catherine the Great, like, as a berserker, to be honest. I just think that would be a really, really good portrayal of her. I think that naturally fate would probably lean towards Ryder for understandable historical context and stories. But I think that's kind of a cheap shot, like a very much below the belt shot. And I think I'd rather like to see her as something like a berserker. I think she could also, be an extra class, maybe. Catherine's very interesting. Because she did a lot of very good things for the country, but she also perpetuated a lot of very, very bad things for the country. How could you lose so miserably? You had 2 servants to their 1. Sure did. Mighty sorry about that. Yeah, basically. But it is one of the most famous, like, colloquially known stories about her. So I could see them pulling some, like, Ryder bullshit based on that. I have no excuse. If that pathetic display was the best you could do, you'll just get your asses handed to you again. Oh, several. Care to repeat that for me, fella? It's true. Deep down, you know I'm right. Well, I believe what Gordolf is trying to say is that Servant is a fearsome opponent. As such, you could use all the help you can get. So why not have Antonio Salieri there join our side? Who are you lot? We're the Chaldea Security Organization. We came here from a place outside of Russia. Though I'm afraid we've lost the building that used to be our headquarters. At any rate, the person there with you is Seki, Chaldea's last remaining master. There's also... I'm a Vikabron. I take it you are the Salieri? Perhaps not quite in the way you imply, but yes, I will admit to being that Salieri. What do you mean? The name Salieri is synonymous with one thing. No need to dance around it. You have heard I am responsible for Amadeus's death, have you not? I am the embodiment of that reputation. Give me a moment while I remove this mystic code. That's right. Phew. This is who I truly am. Take a look at my servant power for yourselves. Oh. Huh, you're quite weak. I didn't think there were any other servants in this world with lower stats than Shakespeare or myself. It would seem you even give Anderson a good run for his money. Of course, I'm just an ordinary composer. I never wrote any symphonies that left a mark on history. At best, I am a mediocrity of a man. But no matter. The sole reason I exist on the throne of heroes at all is because I am said to have killed Amadeus. Whether or not I actually did kill him is completely irrelevant. People were convinced that I did, and so, here I am. Then, one might say you are affected by the innocent monster skill. I believe so. See, if Salieri can become a servant, Anastasia can become a servant. Because in my mind, that's sort of the same thing where stories about what they might have done or what happened to them became so famous after death that it became synonymous with them, and they stayed in popular culture for like 100 years, right? So, like, you know, if Salieri can be a servant, Anastasia, in my opinion, can be a servant, even without V. True, Salieri was indeed suspected of killing Amadeus, even when he was still alive. Right, they even made a movie about it. I've seen that movie. I would like to know that as well. Are you originally a servant from this Lostbelt? I believe that cryptor, the boy, Kadok, called this place a Lostbelt. So you know of that name. First, let me answer your question with one of my own. Tell me, humans of Chaldea, what do you know about the Lostbelts? Well, only that they're abnormal zones that somewhat resemble singularities. If you don't mind, Miss Kyrillite, I'll field that one. First, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Mr. Salieri. I'm Sherlock Holmes, Chaldea's administrative advisor. I became a servant through unusual means, just like you. We have been investigating this peculiar version of Russia where history is so unlike our own. I have a number of hypotheses, but had been unable to find a critical element to tie everything together. Until you first mentioned that word. Lostbelt, a chronological table detailing an alternate path taken by human history, an unbroken strip that continues onward to the present day rather than occupying a single point in time. No wonder it isn't like a singularity. A singularity is one point in time where history, as it should be, went awry after all. That is not the case here in Russia. In this world, everything is as it should be. Nothing has gone awry. It has history quite separate from our own proper human history, even though it is not a world gone completely mad like the singularities. No doubt the branching point was the great cold wave that struck 450 years ago when Earth was thrown into a new ice age. And Russia as we see it now is the product of history moving forward from that point. So, you're saying this is an ongoing deviation from human history? Is that anything like a parallel world? Nope, it's not that. These Lostbelts are something altogether different. If we assume that parallel worlds exist, then their civilization and lifestyle should be fundamentally the same. By definition, they're closely tied to a well-defined base world. In other words, the base world and its parallel worlds are all following the same course. But let's say there's a world where history diverges radically, going completely off the rails. Say at one point, something changes irrevocably. It could be a huge natural disaster or a major technological breakthrough. And the world that's gone off the rails is effectively erased from this universe, deemed to be something that doesn't belong. Once that happens, its destruction is all but assured. No matter how developed it might be, its evolution just ends. For better or for worse, this universe just isn't willing to tolerate worlds whose future prospects are plain to see. You know how you prune unnecessary branches when you're trying to grow a tree? Same thing here. If a world, even a utopia, strays too far from its base axis, it gets the clippers, so to speak. In the Magecraft world, it's called the pruning theoretical phenomena. And it's what allows our universe to keep expanding unimpeded. That's the Mages Association's stance, anyway. The pruning theoretical phenomena, then Russia didn't end up as a frozen wasteland because of a plot like what happened with the King of Mages? Correct. Its climate has always been like this, and it is that very fact of the very climate that led to the changes in human history. This is a world where history continued on past the 100-year marker, long after it would ordinarily have been pruned away. In essence, this history lost to proper human history, but now it has appeared in our own world. Right, it looks like strong alternative histories, or Lostbelts, which we know almost nothing about, are being wielded as weapons to invade and destroy proper human history. The incineration of humanity was an attack on human history organized by Goetia, a singular entity. But now these Lostbelts are attacking the very world itself. If we were to give this a name, I think I might call it the felling theoretical phenomenon. Yeah. I think I like the sound of that. Let's go with it. Are you serious? Then what, you're telling us this Russia is going to become the de facto way of life for the entire planet? If it continues on this path, yes. But of course we won't let it come to that. Now then, that went on quite a bit longer than I had anticipated, but that is our current theory. Tell me, Mr. Salieri, are we more or less on the mark? Yes, you're spot on. I'm impressed you managed to arrive at that conclusion without being from a Lostbelt yourselves. There is nothing more I can tell you beyond what you figured out. Now that you have the facts, what you do with them is up to you. As for your original question, you wish to know if I originate from this Lostbelt, and whether I serve that cryptor. My answer, of course, is no. This Russia has not known music for some time. My story is the same as that gunslinger's. I am a rogue servant summoned by the death throes of this land's true form before the Lostbelt overrode it. My memories of proper human history are now vague and have been conflated with my memories of this Lostbelt. I cannot say if it was that master or that priest, but one of them did something to my head. Even as we speak, I remain unsure if I am on the right side. We will simply have to trust that you are. If nothing else, we know you are not a Yaga. Yes, that's true. That is very true. Above all, this world is utterly devoid of music. It seems I have no choice but to join your side. Thank you. We are grateful for your assistance. To begin, we could use any information you have. What can you tell us about the servants in Yaga, Moscow? I am the court musician, nothing less and nothing more. I had no contact with the outside world. The only one who ever spoke to me was Metropolitan Macarius. Metropolitan Macarius. That was the only man Ivan the Terrible looked up to as a mentor. Is he a Yaga too? No, he's a servant. He does look human, but I doubt he is the same man. He's probably Japanese and a pseudo-servant. A Japanese priest and a pseudo-servant? That must be Father Kotomine! I don't know anything about any others. The only people I've met are the Oprichniki and that master and servant pair we just fought earlier. I see. Well, that's disappointing. Very well then, what do you know about that endless storm wall? Or perhaps the Tree of Emptiness? I know nothing about either, although I did hear Metropolitan Macarius say that the tree is the cornerstone of this Lostbelt. He also said that without the Tree of Emptiness, it would be impossible to mount an attack on reality. That would definitely seem to make the most sense. For one thing, it's smack dab in the middle of this Lostbelt. And for another, it's a foreign entity that's not even showing up on the Paper Moon's compass. This is the same Paper Moon that's been observing this Lostbelt Russia as an ordinary part of the Earth's topography, and the only thing it can figure out to do with that tree is exclude it. So for the moment, it would seem safe to assume that the tree is the source of this felling theoretical phenomena. Then, if we do something about that tree, Russia will return to the way it was? Easier said than done. The Tree of Emptiness lies within the Tsar himself. To reach it, you'll have to face him. I see. Then it seems we will have to do just that at some point. What about the Oprichniki? How many of them are stationed in the capital? No less than a small army. A small army, just like what we saw in Antarctica. Haha, that's going to be quite the obstacle. This is no laughing matter, Holmes. I fail to see what you find so funny. That's right. I am the Grey Man, the one who drove Mozart to his death. Salieri is no more than an avatar I wear, so to speak, out of convenience. I have one last question. What do you think of this Lostbelt? I think it needs to be fixed. Isn't that what you people are attempting to do? Yes, that is certainly one of our goals. Seki, was it? I can see you are the conductor of this little orchestra. Are you mad? I'm the commander around here. She's nothing more than an occasionally useful trombone. I suppose that would make me the violin. Da Vinci, how do you feel about being the flute? Good grief, you all certainly do love your digressions, don't you? You remind me of Amadeus and his unshakable high spirits. Seki, I would like to speak with Sherlock Holmes. Alone, if possible. My apologies. I hope this won't take too long. Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind. Keep your secrets. Mighty curious to know what that Salieri fellow wants to talk to Holmes about. That would be my guess. Salieri has been here longer than any of us. I suspect he has his own sense of things. Thank you for your patience. Allow me to come to the point. I have decided to join you, though conditionally. You may employ my power however you see fit. Simple. Should we encounter Amadeus, you will let me focus on him first and foremost. Wait, what? Does that mean you're going to kill him? Of course. I am the man in grey, the innocent monster known as Salieri. If we were to meet, I would have no choice but to kill him. I can't accept that. If Amadeus has been summoned here, he's sure to be a servant from proper human history. If I had been summoned as an anti-hero, so tortured by malice that I was constantly writhing in agony, I would be so at odds with all of you that we would not even be able to have this conversation. I admit that earlier I was so overcome by a berserker-like madness that I simply went around mercilessly slaughtering any Yaga I encountered. But now I have regained my senses and my sanity alike. Even picturing Amadeus's smug, pear-shaped face does little more than make my skin crawl. In other words, I see, like master, like servant. That means that Amadeus, who is here, is evil now. I suppose it is the fate of every servant to be influenced by their master's personality. That is why I will kill Amadeus. I must kill him. It is my destiny, my fate. If he is, then I will become your enemy once more. My purpose in life is to kill Amadeus. That will never change. Now then, that's enough chit-chat. We are returning to the rebel army's stronghold tomorrow, are we not? You should rest up while you can, master. Now, if you will excuse me. So, Amadeus is our enemy now. I know we've fought former allies before, like Cuchulainn, but I wouldn't worry about it if I were you. This friend-turned-enemy servant would be unaware of his betrayal. Take the heroes of myth. They have always been much more willing to accept shifting allegiances among both their friends and foes. It was their belief that they would all meet again in Eden, so they had no difficulty taking it in their stride when friends became foe or vice versa. Above all, there is nothing you could do now that would undo the encouragement he once offered you. Rest assured that he spoke truly, sincerely, and from the heart. That's a good point. Thank you, Avikabron. Please don't. That would be rather painful for me. Painful. I have no right to be anyone's teacher. I've long since abandoned any qualifications I may have had. Moving on, we need to discuss Kadok's servant. I believe she is to him what Miss Kyrillite is to Seki, his personal, exclusive servant. She is also, of course, the monster who encased all of Chaldea in solid ice. Right. I remember Kadok called her by her true name at one point, Anastasia. There are two famous figures by that name. One was Ivan the Terrible's Tsaritsa and the first wife, Anastasia Romanova Zakharina Yurieva, who supported his reign from the shadows all her life. We already talked about Zakharina Yurieva. The other was a descendant of the Romanov dynasty, Anastasia Nikolaevna Romanova, a young girl whose passing was mourned by all in the Tsardom. So which Anastasia are we dealing with here? I am afraid there need be no suspense about this. She is unquestionably the Romanov descendant. How can you be so sure? Since Ivan the Terrible's here, couldn't she be his Tsaritsa? I've looked into Tsaritsa Anastasia's history, and she's clearly not the type to relish the spotlight. She became Tsaritsa at the age of 17 and passed away only 13 years later. Ivan the Terrible took several more wives, 7 to be specific, following her death, but he never opened up to anyone else. In fact, he actually thought most of those 7 were out to get him, and that someone was out to get all of them and him, and a lot of them died from very interesting deaths. Generally speaking, one would indeed expect to find her with him, but it's highly improbable that she would be summoned as a servant. Of course, she could still have been an inhabitant of this world, just like Ivan the Terrible, which would have made her summoning possible. But, given that she is human in appearance, that seems altogether improbable as well. Dakota Doyle, we're probably going till 2. So another 30 minutes about. I was maybe planning on going longer, but I'm recording a video with Knickknack tonight, and I need to make sure I still have a voice for that, and I'm a little leery of going so long. I also, Knickknack just messaged me another name for tonight's video, so I need to take a look into that before he gets here. Precisely. Anastasia Nikolaevna Romanova. She is the Grand Duchess of Ice, a young girl who bore the brunt of Russia's darkness. Well, her and her sisters, and her brother. Now then, allow me to share an abridged version of Anastasia's background and some of the secrets I managed to dig out from Chaldea's library. Chaldea's library? Wasn't that destroyed in the attack? I anticipated certain emergencies may arise eventually, so I took the liberty of collecting as much useful data from it as I could. Anastasia Nikolaevna Romanova. She is the 4th daughter of the last Romanov ever to hold the Tsardom, Nikolai II and his wife Alexandra. And she had 4 sisters, Olga, Tatiana, Maria, Anastasia, Alexei, right? Yeah, 4th daughter, so Olga, Maria, and Tatiana were her 3 sisters, and then Alexei was her younger brother. In the years before her death, famine plagued all of Russia as a result of the ongoing First World War. In 1917, frustrations reached a breaking point. Efforts to quell a protest left some people dead. Some of Russia's soldiers banded together in revolt against the Tsardom. Moscow declared martial law in response, but by then the imperial guards had chosen to side with the rebels. After a tremendous uproar, the Tsar abdicated. The Romanov imperial family fell into disarray and were essentially confined to house arrest. The historical records describe Nikolai as a good husband and father. But, in light of these events, it would seem he was ill-equipped to handle the threat to his reign. Alternatively, he may have been perfectly well-equipped, but the times may have simply been too dire for anyone in his position to overcome. Nikolai II was unfortunate. I think he could have been a much better ruler, but the times that he ruled in were not conducive to the way that he ruled. He made decisions that didn't end up well because of what was happening at the same time around the rest of the world, and because of that it only made things worse. In the wake of these events, Russia would end up split into several different factions, eventually uniting as a single nation known as the Soviet Union. But that bit of history can wait for another time. Kind of, yeah, I don't want to say that he was perfect, because he wasn't. He had issues, he really did. But, and he wasn't the smartest person, you know? But he definitely wouldn't have come, he and his family wouldn't have come to such a horrific end had it not been for everything else that was also going on around the same time. Exactly, right? Like, you have to think, like, Nikolai II did not mean to incite hatred among his people when he threw some of those last great balls of Europe and spent tons of money on them. But he also didn't know any better because that's what his family had been doing for years and years and years, and he was out of touch with the people and what needed to be done. And so he throws this ball, he wastes all this money, people see it, they see the waste of money, and because they're in such dire straits already, it just didn't end up being good, right? The problem was the entire Romanov family had not really evolved a whole lot since, I would say, Catherine the Great, in terms of like the way that they treated the people and the way that they lived. They didn't really get with the picture of like industrialism and more freedom for the people and like equality and stuff like that. And, you know, it probably could have kept going through Nikolai II into another ruler or two, but then also there was the 1904 revolts, right? The revolutions then. And then there was the World Wars, and that just caused a lot of other issues, right? Because you've got famine and death and all this sort of stuff happening at the same time as him being not a good ruler for the evolving world that we were living in. And it just kind of hit a boiling point in 1917, right? He's not a good ruler, we don't want to glorify him, but he also ruled during an incredibly unfortunate time to be ruling. Anyways. For the moment, let us focus our attention on Nikolai II's family. Having been confined to their home, their lavish lifestyle evaporated practically overnight, and they were seldom heard from again. Although records do say that they continued to employ servants and cooks. At any rate, the situation grew more dire the following year in April of 1918. The new Leninist administration feared that the Czechoslovak Legion, or White Army, would try to reinstate the Tsar's family by force and decided to have them executed. Ideally, they would have preferred to do so following a trial in order to create an official record. But the threat that Tsar's reinstatement posed to their administration forced their hand. Being the cousin of the German Kaiser, Anastasia's mother, Alexandra, still had some value as a bargaining chip. But that value evaporated the instant the German ambassador was assassinated by extremists. And keep in mind, right, Alexandra and Nikolai were intrinsically related to most other royal families in Europe at the time, you know? In essence, everything was about Anastasia's family. Their bloodline, their presence, their very existence was seen as a hindrance. This led to the powers that be to refrain from making the Romanov sentence public, and so instead they determined to do away with them in secret. So they were executed. At least that is how those in power would like it described. Those who were present said it was in truth no more than a massacre. Some believe that Anastasia managed to survive her family's execution, but that theory was thoroughly disproven several decades later thanks to DNA testing. There is simply no denying that this innocent young girl had her life ripped from her simply because she was born to the wrong family at the wrong time. Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, Nikolai and... King George? George V? I think it was George V. I could be wrong. I think it's George V. George V and Nikolai were so similar looking, right? That they used to play a trick on people at, like, events, and they would dress in each other's clothes and see if people could tell them apart. That's how similar they looked. Keep it in the family, apparently. Anastasia's story is indeed one of tragedy. She is one of many sacrificed on the altar of history. However, although her story in proper human history ends there, it continues in the history of magecraft. The history of magecraft? Does that mean the Romanov family was involved in magecraft? I'm afraid the answer to that question remains unclear. They may have had some secret involvement in it, or they may have merely known of its existence. All we know for certain is that a number of lost Fabergé eggs made their way into the world of magecraft. From there, we learned that each generation's Tsar had formed a contract with the sorts of a certain phantasmal. However, as this rumored phantasmal did not see fit to save Tsar Nicholas II's life, the notion was dismissed as false. But, after seeing Anastasia fight, I have determined that there is another possibility. She is a shaman, a spirit keeper. In other words, it was neither her father Nikolai nor her brother Alexei who was the heir to the Romanov magecraft. It was indeed Anastasia herself. So she's the heir to an imperial family who have been ruling over a land of ice and snow for more than 300 years. Oh, that should not have been there. Ain't quite as bad as Ivan the Terrible, but still pretty goddamn intimidating. But here in this Lostbelt, Ivan the Terrible's tsardom has continued unabated for the past 450 years. A lot of difference twixt Yaga history and ours. Humans seem more namite frail in comparison, but we got all manner of knowledge and wisdom over the years that let us take down even our toughest enemy. So running a place like this for 300 years is damned impressive, no two ways about it. Unfortunately, while I have learned a great deal about the threat she poses, I'm afraid I have nothing to offer in the way of strategy against her. Well, times like that, the simpler the better. I say we hit her hard and fast. Bushwhacker. Not much you can't kill if you keep on plugging at it till it stops moving. If it bleeds, you can kill it. See, the irony of that, Zero Herrera, is that yes, they did seem to, but also a lot of historians have sort of portrayed this in that there were two people who were very interested in Tsar Nicholas, right? Alexandra, right, who became Alexandra, because that was not her original, name, and the woman who married, the woman who was the Queen of Britain at the time in 1917, right? A lot of historians paint the two of them as both trying to get his hand in marriage, and then they insinuate that she is possibly the reason that that the British royal family didn't try to help get the Russian royal family out of Russia, which is an interesting sort of like move to make, because I don't think that any royal family would have, like, it's both like, obviously they don't want to see one of their cousins and like a royal family that they know get executed because it's like a loss of like aristocratic power, but also if you take them in, you become sort of like a target for anti-monarchist and anti-imperialist revolution, and then you're funding another country's aristocracy, which also makes you not popular because of that. So there's some interesting stuff going on there as well. Yeah, the bodies were found, what, 2.5 decades ago now? This is not recent history that it was confirmed. Like, let's be honest, I think it was the late 90s or the early 2000s. It was a while ago that it was found. Let's see. Uh, 2007. Yeah. 2007. So this was way before this chapter was written. Yeah. Not much you can't kill if you keep on plugging at it till it stops moving. If it bleeds, you can kill it. Perhaps the simple solution would be the best in this case. For the moment, I suggest we try Billy's plan of action, such as it is, when we next see her. What about summoning a new servant to serve as a shield? Naturally, their one job would be to keep me nice and safe. Gordolf, I will punch you in the face. There you have it, everyone. In the end, you will just have to do the best you can with what you have. Gordolf, you are gonna get socked in the face one of these days, and I'm gonna laugh. Good morning, Master. You heard the lady. Golems. Halt. Is something wrong, Avikabron? That's a Djavoltron. It's surrounded by a large number of smaller demonic beasts. You could go around them. This is still an unproven hypothesis, but... yes? I believe that a Djavoltron would, well... make for good golem materials? That makes sense. Yeah, I don't know, Nervemeister. I actually think... I appreciate that they didn't, actually. I think it would have been too cliche, too overdone. Yes. Well, I suppose I'll just have to help you out. This will be quite a foe for our first battle together. Come then. Oh my god, I forgot that we haven't even had a battle yet in this section we've been reading for so long. Jesus. Okay. Ooh. Not that Charm Immune particularly matters in this case. Definitely don't need that. Damn. Too bad I didn't have any Odysseus Arts cards again. Okay, what do you do? 68. Okay, not that many. Yikes. Really use an arts card here on Odysseus. Oh, thank God. Let's go, Odie. Not ideal. But I don't have a class advantage, so it, you know, I get why. Kind of sat here struggling a little bit. Rude. Oh. Ouch. Ouch. That hurt. Yeah. Alright, well, we're going into the third round. I'll drop a bunch of buffs up and stuff. Ew. Djavoltron. Okay. Why is it? I swear to God. Why do I have a... What did I do? What did I read wrong? I understand that I read something wrong somewhere. I just don't remember what it was.
Oh.
Jesus. It's okay, we'll win. It's gonna be annoying, but we'll win. Yeah, you know, my brain was just not. Yeah. Like I said, my brain just did the math wrong on that one. Well, problem solved. In an annoying way, but technically solved. Alright, come on. Ew. Actually, Mash isn't the worst person to have out right now. Not terrible. Yeah. Look, I can make this work, okay? I can make this work. Look at all those defenses lined up. Yes, I saw that, Zero Herrera, on the 21st from 8 a.m. UTC for approximately 15 hours, although in my experience, usually when they tell you it's going to be 15 hours, it's usually closer to 4 to 8. Yeah, I'm already planning to be very productive in Minecraft during that time. Look, this is a great team. Don't laugh at it. This is gonna do great things. I tell you, this is gonna do numbers. A lot of numbers. I was like, maybe I should switch Mash for Estrella. No. In this case, Mash is actually a really good choice for who's out here. You know? It's not perfect, but it's a good choice. Because it's two casters, so... That was absolutely the worst thing. How was I to command, Master? I see. So you have taken a liking to this mystic code of mine. I knew it. We're almost to the rebel army stronghold now, Salieri. Soon we'll be able to introduce you to everyone else. Wait a moment. If you lot are on the side of proper human history, I don't suppose you have a piano at this stronghold, do you? No, I'm afraid not. I see. Well then, I shall just have to make my own musical instrument when I have a spare moment. Just speaking for myself. But I think I'd rather you find the time to actually fight first. A most reasonable request, but I know the truth. Admit it, Evie Cabron, you prefer making golems over fighting, don't you? That is true. What is it with the masked men in this chapter? Even so, I must put combat first. I would never while away my time fiddling with instruments. Rude. Nor would I. I am a servant first and a musician second. Naturally, I too would put combat first. You two certainly do enjoy your hobbies. You're one to talk. Well, that's strange. Here I was under the impression that I was fully devoting myself to helping Master restore humanity. They said it because you act like your hobbies are the only thing you care about. I see, so that's how I come across, is it? Anyone who likes to spend their time making things come across as a slacker hobbyist. I swear, they're all a bunch of useless good-for-nothings. One to what? Another word and you'll need to make a DC 19 spell save to survive. Summer Da Vinci plays D&D? Oh my god, we still have talking to do? Okay. Hey, they're back. Open the gate. Welcome back! Mr. Golem, can you make a golem for us too, please? Normally, I would encourage you to learn the value of hard work while you are young, but I suppose your lives here are hard enough as it is. Here you are, a mini golem. It should be able to help you with your chores. Yay, I'm gonna work it like a slave. That is not its intended use. Good, you have returned. Are you a servant as well? I am. My name is Salieri. It's quite all right if you haven't heard of me. My name is of little consequence. Ah, yes, Mozart's, well, at any rate, why are you wearing that outfit? Innocent monster. I am the man in grey. I am the one destined to kill Amadeus. I only go by Salieri as a matter of convenience, but you may call me that if you like. Well, I suppose stories like yours are not too uncommon in this world. The circumstances of my own summoning were not exactly normal. Now then, Seki, there's something we need to discuss. Right now? Can it not wait to the next node? Remember the ore you once asked us about, the one that can be used to engrave magecraft spells. At the time, I believe you also mentioned a jewel that could be used to control golems. Well, I managed to track down a lead on both. Oh, you don't say. Where are they? Not so fast. I would like to make a deal before I share my information. Not again. Yes, again. I cannot afford to lose your combat prowess. I trust Seki and Mash, but once your ship is repaired, you may end up leaving this world behind, right? Absolutely not. The problems here are our problems as well. We're not going anywhere until we've solved this crisis. You can count on that. Isn't that right, Director Gordolf? Huh? Yes, of course. Mash is quite right. This land's problems are our problems, and we won't run from them at the first sign of trouble. That said, we grown-ups do have extenuating circumstances to deal with, and they won't wait around forever, so... What are you trying to say? I'm, trying to say that, well, we can't say anything for sure until we actually see what's gonna happen. Don't you talk about my belly, and no, I don't have any guts. I'm not like Holmes. I can't talk my enemies into giving themselves up. When the going gets tough, Gordolf gets going, in the other direction. We fight to run away. My condolences that you are forced to deal with this man as your superior. Now can I ask for your assistance in exchange for my information? Alright, what sort of deal did you have in mind? I will come right to the point. I want your help building a new stronghold. A new stronghold? Well, that sounds right up Avikabrad's alley. No, I think it would be too dangerous to rely exclusively on him. Dangerous? Yeah, Meleager. His power is not limitless in scope, nor is it a permanent solution. After all, these Yagan need to know how to fend for themselves even after we disappear. But doesn't that plan of action harbor a different sort of danger? Granted, learning new things always brings with it that possibility, but nonetheless, I understand your point. And yes, it is certainly possible that they could misuse this knowledge and power for their own ends. But even so, I believe it is a good thing for them to learn how to survive. Why should it make a difference? It's their choice whether they spend their lives working honestly or decide to turn to banditry. It's no concern of yours what they do after you're gone. Besides, it's human nature to be obsessed with keeping up with the Joneses. If anything, it seems to me as though providing them with supportive technology will only make their futures brighter. Yes, I suppose you are right. It is the Yaga's choice whether to be weak and be eaten or to be strong and do the eating, or even to find a new path altogether. By the way, may I ask if you have a particular location in mind for this new stronghold? I do. There is a ravine right at the midpoint between here and the capital. It is protected by a large forest inhabited by vicious demonic beasts, which would make it difficult for the Oprichniki from the capital to attack it. Whereas there are no mountains between here and the ravine to block our path. I see. But in that case, wouldn't its natural defenses also make it difficult for you to attack the capital? Yes, I have considered that, which is why I have not moved there thus far, but now scouts have discovered a tunnel that safely cuts through the woods. At the moment, this tunnel is still only partially hollowed out. But once it is complete, we could reach Yaga Moscow in a single day. It would let us attack it with the element of surprise. What's more, this tunnel is an excellent place to find the sort of ore you seek. So you want us to help you build this new stronghold, and to finish digging this tunnel, right? I've already put together a team of my own Yaga. We will set out once you are all ready. Oh, thank God, okay. Oh my God, so many things in that node. We're not making terrible progress. Because we're on section 16. So we've covered like 3 sections today already. And granted, we probably could have gotten through this one if we hadn't had our little breakdown, my little breakdown, earlier when Knick Knack messaged in. Alright, that's the last of the sections I'm going to do today. Let's take a look on my leveling up. I was working on... Was I working on Mash's skill? Yeah, I was working on Mash's skills. Hold on. Let me see if she's got anything that I can... God. Okay. For the life of me. No, I think I'm... Yeah, I'm out of what I was using. Who was leveling up that I... Oh, do I not have... What the hell? Do I not have anyone to enhance? What the hell? Oh, maybe I don't. Okay. Okay. Whose skills was I working on? Ascensions. Ascensions. Okay. No one I'm actively working on. Skills. Okay. I was trying to get up the skills on a bunch of people. Yeah, that's just unfortunate. Good lord. Well, yeah, because I don't use it all that often, so, okay. Alright, that was skilling. That got me up a bunch. What else was I working on? Actively working on. Not just, like, occasionally, but, like, actively. Okay. Not the most helpful, but... Okay. Let's see. Fucking assassins. Yeah, Hippomenes was the golden apple man. Okay. I'm not really using her a whole lot. Oh man, it's always the lower level stuff. Alright, well, done a little bit of skilling people up. Just whatever I could get. Since I'm just kind of doing what I have stuff for. I know that there was someone else I was leveling something on that needed the phoenix feathers, but I, for the life of me, cannot remember it right at this exact moment. So I'll probably switch over to collecting the other thing I was running out of when I get some more of this month's tickets. But at rates, I think that is about it for me today. I don't know. Let me really quickly check my schedule for this week. Knickknack is, I think, streaming Thursday in the evening, as far as I'm aware. And then I should be streaming Baldur's Gate 3 again. At 4 p.m. on Friday with Vorn. We're actually starting Act 2 officially. So we're going into the Shadow Cursed Lands, which is going to be super fun. So you should definitely join us if you can, because finally, fucking Shart is going to be useful, you know? No, not anytime soon, Nervemeister. Maybe next week if I stream. I'll go like extra long, but not today. Yeah. Let's see. But with that being said, I'm gonna get headed out, guys. And I will see you all next time. Bye.